Welcome to Inside Gaming. I'm Brian. It is the Weekend Roundup. Guys, let's talk about Google Stadia, aka the dead horse of gaming that we just won't stop beating. So it's no secret, the game streaming service has been kind of a disaster. Not enough people are playing. It's had performance issues, still waiting on many of the features they promised, and what games it does have are mostly fully priced. Even old-ass games like Assassin's Creed Odyssey and Red Dead Redemption 2, they're still charging $60 for those, with a straight face. But hey, don't take my word for it. The head of one of the biggest game companies in the world said Stadia did the pretty much worst thing you can do. They overpromised and underdelivered. This comes from Take-Two CEO Strauss Zelnick, who said that a year ago, he was pretty optimistic about Stadia. He was impressed with the concept of being able to play our games on any device whatsoever around the world and to do it with low latency. Oh boy, and then he played Stadia, I'm guessing. But man, times have sure changed. That was a year ago. He said at a recent conference, though, that the launch of Stadia has been slow. He added, "I think there was some overpromising on what the technology could deliver and some consumer disappointment as a result." Strauss Zelnick, master of the understatement. And then he kind of dunked on the whole idea of Stadia, saying, if you're going to pay $60 plus in US dollars for a frontline release and more internationally, are you really unwilling to buy a $300 console? That's a great point, because gaming has always been kind of an expensive hobby. Either you're buying a console for $300, $400, $500, or you're building out a nice PC. Neither of those options are particularly cheap. Zelnick added that the belief that streaming was going to be transformative was based on a view that there were loads of people who really had an interest in interactive entertainment, really wanted to pay for it, but just didn't want to have a console. I'm not sure that turned out to be the case. Yeah, dude, you didn't know that a year ago? I'm just saying. Also, they're video games. Don't call them interactive entertainment. I hate corporate speak so much. Suffice it to say, he said that Stadia has not been a game changer, but said that Take-Two, quote, will continue to support high-quality streaming services as long as the business model makes sense. So, you're saying you're done supporting Stadia because you mentioned high-quality streaming services. Boom, boom, got him. Long-term, he said he's bullish on streaming, and of course, there are other services out there like Microsoft's Project xCloud. That's still in beta. It's being a lot better received than Stadia. Meanwhile, Stadia, there's a little bit of good news, I guess. It's finally getting one of its most ambitious features. Well, kind of. You might remember back in the Stadia reveal last year, they talked about something called State Share, which would basically let players create a unique link to their creation or whatever they're playing and share it with other players who could then join into the game or help collaborate. Pretty cool idea. It could have some pretty big ramifications for streamers who want to play with their audience, but like everything with Stadia, hasn't quite yet materialized. Well, the feature is going into beta this summer for one game with the release of Creta, which is basically a game creation platform. Kind of sounds like Dreams. We'll see how it goes. But Stadia, it's, I think you might want to pull the plug, guys. It's not looking great. Moving on, let's talk about Activision. Its CEO, Bobby Kotick, makes a lot of money, and some of his shareholders feel like makes a little too much. GameSpot reports that the CTW investment group is calling on other stakeholders and shareholders to restrict how much he gets paid. For reference, Kotick made more than $30 million last year, even as Activision laid off more than 800 people and had great performance because corporate America is awful. The CTW director wrote in a filing that Activision Blizzard continually finds multiple ways to unnecessarily enrich its CEO. Ouch. The director also noted Kotick has received $20 million each year over the last 4 years through stock and equity options, and that's before his base salary. Must be nice. In a statement to GameSpot, Activision Blizzard noted that the company's market capitalization, that's basically the value of the company, has increased from less than $10 million to over $53 billion during Kotick's tenure. Pretty impressive. They added over 90% of Mr. Kotick's proxy reported compensation is performance-based, and he has delivered exceptional value for Activision Blizzard stockholders. Looks like we will have to wait to learn more about Cyberpunk 2077. CD Projekt Red has pushed back an event for the game that was originally planned for next week. The stream, known as Night City Wire, was expected to show off more gameplay and possibly plans for DLC, but in a tweet, the developer said they're delaying it for 2 weeks to June 25th due to ongoing protests. They wrote, "We still look forward to sharing new information about Cyberpunk 2077, but more important discussions are happening right now and we want them to be heard. We wholeheartedly stand against racism, intolerance, and violence. Black Lives Matter." All right, moving on. Retro consoles have been big over the last few years, and Sega is getting into the act with a Game Gear Micro, a smaller version of its infamous tiny-screened portable. I knew a guy who developed for the Game Gear. He said all of them developed eye problems because that screen was so tiny. It's coming out later this year in Japan. Honestly, sounds a little pricey, though. The console comes in 4 different colors. Each has 4 different games on them. Each is $50. Come on, guys. Well, the equivalent of $50. It's just in Japan. Still got the 1.5-inch display, but if you buy all 4, Sega will throw in a magnifying glass. Nice, guys. Nowhere yet on a Western release. Honestly, I think I'm cool. I'm not going to buy 4 different retro consoles. And finally, let's talk about the Epic Games Store. Their policy of signing up games to exclusive deals has been very controversial. This latest one, pretty unique. It's the strategy game, A Total War Saga Troy. It's going to be exclusive to the Epic Store for a year, like a lot of other games, but it will also be free for the first 24 hours when it releases on August 13th.
It's a bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see if it pays off for them.
Sounds like Epic threw him some cash to make that happen. Tim Heaton, Chief Studios Officer at Sega Europe, said the free window was all thanks to Epic. He added, "It's a hugely exciting thing for us to be able to do for our players. Not only does this mean that we can bring the tales and legends of Troy to a wide audience through Epic's massive platform, but it also means new players will get to try Total War for the first time." Or maybe you don't have confidence in your game, maybe. Just saying, I don't know. Maybe Epic just kind of helped you out at the last minute. I don't know. All right, time for a 5-second review. Man, they think they're going to make me play Borderlands 2 again? They're absolutely right. All right, let's talk about the games coming out next week. First up, Deck of Ashes is an adventure game with tactical card combat. One character at a time, lead a cast of anti-heroes on a quest for redemption. Explore the cursed fantasy world, hunt down powerful cards, put your survival and resource management skills to the test. Mine are negligible, so I would be in trouble when upgrading your camp of allies. The choices that drive your journey, where to go, which resource to collect, which risk to take, and which card to craft are the difference between success and your untimely demise. It's been in early access, finally releases on PC June 9th. Project Warlock is a first-person shooter that fans of Doom and Wolfenstein might enjoy. It serves you an exploding cocktail of bullets, spells, and monsters. Battle through 60 levels of non-stop action with bloodthirsty enemies and challenging bosses. Become a mysterious warlock who embarks on a dangerous mission to eradicate all evil. Put your finger on the trigger, travel through time and space to wreak havoc like in the golden days of fast-paced, adrenaline-pumping first-person shooters. It comes to PS4 June 9th, the Switch on June 11th, and the Xbox One June 12th. Maybe pick a date next time. Just one for everyone, guys. It's easier. Beyond the Blue is a single-player narrative adventure that takes you deep into our planet's beating blue heart. Set in the near future, Beyond Blue explores the mysteries of our ocean through the eyes of Mirai, a deep-sea explorer and scientist. Or Mirai? I don't know. Either one. Become a part of a newly formed research team using groundbreaking technologies to see, hear, and interact with the ocean in a more meaningful way than ever before. Throughout 8 different dives, you'll explore the untouched world of our ocean and use technology at the edge of our understanding, tracking sea creatures, unraveling mysteries, and interacting with the ocean. I could never dive like that because I have an inner ear disorder. It comes to the PC, PS4, and Xbox One June 11th. Astronauts is a detailed sim of owning and living aboard a spaceship in a solar system where honest living is a slow death sentence. Set in the Neo Scavenger universe where Earth has suffered a cataclysmic collapse. Sounds like current day. The rest of the system lives in a state of capitalistic dystopia. Also, sounds like present day. Players will create their captain, build or customize their starting ship from the spoils of their career, and find ways to keep their crew in line, fuel in their tanks, food on their plates, and the debt collectors at bay. Sounds like the student loan people. Players can build their ship in any shape from functioning modular parts The parts have physical properties, they interact with each other, and they can wear out over time. Ooh, item degradation. Ooh, item degradation. Love it. It comes to early access on PC June 11th. Samurai Showdown has enjoyed worldwide success as a blade-wielding fighting game series since its first release in 1993. Over 10 years have passed since the latest installment. It's now time for Samurai Showdown to return in a brand new game featuring high-end visuals and gameplay. With its story set 1 year before the first installment, I believe that's a prequel, warriors and combatants from various backgrounds with their own goals are about to battle to fulfill their destiny. Faithfully reproducing the game mechanics and atmosphere that contributed to the success of the series, the new game aims to bring the same tense and exhilarating battles that the series is known for. It comes to PC June 11th. In Warborn, deploy for battle in the variable armor, a technologically advanced suit of war. Okay. With turn-based tactics, quick-fire clashes, you lead a strike force of deadly mecha to bring peace to the solar system in a 40-mission campaign. Create your own maps, practice in skirmish, or battle across multiplayer. It comes to PC, PS4, Xbox One, and Switch June 12th. That's all the news we got for you this week, guys. I hope you guys have a great week. I hope you're staying safe. I hope you're healthy. I hope you're happy. We'll see you soon.
That's right. Google Stadia is now free, baby. So let the laggy gameplay begin.
It's 100% free
and grass-fed. Google announced that they're cutting the price of Stadia Pro to nothing for the first 2 months, at least. After that, you got to pay your $10 a month like everybody else. What for? Nobody knows.
It's a wacky service.
What are